どんぶらこどんぶらこどんどんゆられ揺れて目指すはどんなハッピーエンド探してたこの心ウキウキ暴れさせて冒険はいつだってワンダフル繋がってくエンドエン出会いは少しトリッキー打ち解けりゃ鬼も笑う見える景色がちょっとずつ違う皆様のお手を拝借So let's get the party started ゴンゴンいいとこ見て得意げに胸張ろうぜブラザー誓いは間違いじゃない楽しもうぜドンブでハッピーなパーティータイムドンブラと大集合踊れ笑えはははさあ老いも若きも誰も彼も君もドンブラコドンブラコどんどん揺られ揺れて目指すはめでたしどんどんハッピーエンド始まってたありふれた日常のど真ん中で挑戦はいつになくエキサイティング間違ってくエンドエン僕は新しい風背に受けりゃ逆に売り切生きる時代にあった当たり前皆様と形を変えて Let's get the party going どんどんいいとこ取り言い訳は粋じゃないぜブラザー意義もは入れきりじゃない飛び込もうぜドンブで Brand new なパーティータイムドンブラと大集合踊れ笑えはははそう過去も未来もいつもどんな時もドンブラコドンブラコどんどん揺られ揺れて待ってる明日はどんなハッピーエンド笑っても泣いても同じ一度の人生なら迷わず服を選びたいどこかの誰かの物差しじゃ計り知れない自分らしさ一応探せようぜどんどんトライしようぜ転んだって起き上がればいい悩みなんて吹っ飛ばして突き進め挑め行こうぜ On my way どんどんいいとこ見て得意げに胸張ろうぜブラザー違いは間違いじゃない楽しもうぜドングでハッピーなパーティータイムドンブラと大集合踊れ笑えはははさあ老いも若きも誰も彼も君もドンブラコドンブラコどんどん揺られ揺れて目指すはめでたしどんどんハッピーエンド
Hello everyone, my name is Notepad Anon and I usually write games for fun, so what are we doing today? Well, today is what we like to refer to very casually as Notepad couldn't fix it. Yes, this is actually going to be the second episode of the preliminary for Eclipse Judgment for two reasons. The first off is, well, I couldn't figure everything out, so I'm going to need a little bit more time just to fix it up. So, something doesn't seem right. I thought about it, I sat here and I looked at it and I thought about it some more, and then I was like, oh god, it's not working, and it was a full collection of me just in despair more than anything. Something wasn't quite working, so I want to go back in there and do something with it. Maybe maybe do some work, a little bit of work on it. I can't put my finger on what's wrong. It just is. The second reason is, generally speaking, I kind of just needed to work on it more. How I would the big thing what I wanted to do was get the powers sorted out this weekend. That was the plan. Cool, gonna do the powers. That just did not work. It didn't, guys. Boys, lads, gentlemen, plutocrats, it didn't work. I tried. I did everything I could, and it just did not want to. It just did not show up in my mind. Not a single thing really did fix itself. It was kind of driving me nuts. Hi Notepad, is White Carnation a private game? No, it just isn't on the website yet. If you want a link, just tell me, I'll post it. Well, hello, what didn't work? I just didn't, I don't know, something about this isn't working together what I wanted to. I thought here, I was looking at it, I'm like, something is broken and I don't know what it is. Because one of the big ideas is that he wants big powers. Now, originally I was like, okay, this will be pretty easy. I'll just fucking reference already existing works. This'll be super easy. I'll just reference some existing works and it'll be great. The problem is these don't exist. Because one of the issues I kept finding out about all this Shanxia things in general, it was that it wasn't big powers just don't really exist. It's usually things like this just doesn't exist. Usually it's things like martial brilliance. Or it's oh, I have the ability to float, I have such a, I'm super fast and super strong and I automatically win every fight because of how cool I am. It's there very rarely is big superpowers or whatever. So it's fuck. Okay. What do I do with this? How do I make this work? How do I pull things together? So that's what today's plan is. Really, it's just to kind of pull everything together and get everything kind of little bit more organized. And once everything gets organized, I'm going to send it to the guy. And then from there, we'll kind of see how things go. That's kind of the plan. Because it is Chinese. DBZ, honestly, you joke, but no. DBZ actually was do I reference fucking Dragon Ball? But that also kind of leads to its issues. Because let's really think about it. What's fucking Goku's main way of doing things? He does the Kamehameha and he punches people. What's Gohan's main thing? He punches people. What's Vegeta's big punching people? It's for every bigger attack, it always brings back to the fact of just raw punching people. And it's how do I give something Kamehameha? The Kamehameha. What was the one? The Fortnite guy. It was the Kamehameha. The Kamehameha. That was it. Wait a fuck. Yeah. So it's okay. How am I? What's the answer here? Because he doesn't want charms. Because the big thing, what he said is, I do not want charms. Now, charms are from Exalted. Now, one of the things about charms, and I will always say, charms is the hardest thing about Exalted. If you ever want to convert something over in Exalted, charms are the fucking... Yeah, charms are the thing. That is the hump. That is the gap. Because the problem is... I got some new coffee today. It's a little bit lighter than I thought it was going to be. Because one of the issues with charms is that in lore, they do and simultaneously do not exist in Exalted. That's one of the most bizarre aspects about Exalted in general. It's the fact that charms exist but do not exist at the same time. Because they're just little chosen powers and you have to go down the little charm list to get all your powers. He didn't want that. He wanted it to be a little bit more open. However, I was fuck, what do I add here? Like, what do I do? Because if that like singular fucking line wasn't here, oh, I'd be balling, I'd be gaming, brothers. I'd be, you know, doing that slam dunk. We'd already be working on it. But the fact that that single aspect is there has thrown this entire project into just anarchy. Because he wants open powers, but like, he wants open powers, and the example he gave was being able to like split a mountain in two. I'm like, okay, so he wants big powers, but he doesn't want them very specific. What the fuck are charms? Charms in Exalted are your power. Anytime someone references, anytime like an Exalt from Exalted can actually do something big and exciting and like, oh wow, these are the powers, they're actually referencing charms. In the setting of Exalted, a charm is a process that has been, or process or a technique that has been perfected by the Solars to do a thing. Usually it's like, oh, I can do Heavenly Dragon Fist or whatever, and I add 2 dice to my attacks or whatever. It's shit like that. In setting of Exalted, the charms are real. They are things that exist. And you can learn charms just as much as you can, like, master them. Also in setting, they are not real. That's the problem. Because everyone can kind of learn them independently, and you are supposed to kind of flavor them as you wish. That one makes charms actually very complicated. Because they're a game thing. They're a way for you to actually be able to, you know, space out power gains and space out the ability to get more powerful, as well as your abilities. You have to go down little charm trees. You have to, you know, pick and choose. And it's kind of a mess in that regard. But he doesn't want this. He references anima quite a bit. He references anima, which anima has its own thing, and it's like fucking psychics, there's magic, there's a lot of things in anima. I'm like, okay. So, what are we looking for? Well, the thing is, what he wants, at the end of the day, he wants a Janshia game. Cultivator, Immortal Heroes, bullshit like that. These guys are very powerful. The catch usually with them, though, this is the big catch, is a lot of the times they aren't super, how do I want to word this? They've hit a point of power where they don't give a shit anymore. So the story isn't necessarily about them fighting things or whatever. That's not the point anymore. The point is a character study. We want to explore what is effectively immortal demigod does on his off time. What is an immortal, you know, how does a super immortal who can fly on a fucking sword really do in the world? Well, if he can influence everything, what does it matter? What do they do, or what do they do to pursue their goals? That's the big thing. Yeah, like that's why I was like, maybe. You clicked over the Yaoi Cultivation series. There's a good reason for it. Because I was thinking, because originally, and this is me talking with my friend about it over the weekend a little bit, I was thinking, okay, there's a pretty defined way about what is and what is not, you know, Shanxia, you know, there has to be some basic rules. I'm going to give you a secret here, everybody. Want to hear the secret? There are no rules. There is nothing in particular. There's nothing specific. The only basic thing is that there has to be pretty much, you have to have the basic idea of Taoist immortality, and you have to have them be vaguely. That's really it. That's really what it breaks down into. Everything else, because I saw like, oh well, I'm just like a super swordsman, and any sword I have is automatically death, or like here's the magic death laser weapon that allows me to instantly win everything. There's really no, like, specifics. There's no, like, hard and fast, like, this is the option. This is really all it is. Savage Cultivator by Burt Wendland. Yeah, it's like, oh, Lord, there isn't really quantum cultivation. Thousand Lead, The Third Kingdom, Book 7. These things are fucking huge, by the way. Like, these things are massive. Like, and yeah, so I'm like, fuck me. Monkey King does off time to a degree. It's the best way to kind of think about it is it's more about the story about what do super powerful people do that isn't necessarily being super powerful, because nothing can really threaten them except others of their own kind. The only rule is that there must be a way to one-up everything that came before. Yeah, pretty much, because it's this constant series of escalations. It's, I'm not immortal, I'm a super immortal. I'm not a super immortal, I'm a mega immortal. Well, I'm an omega immortal too. Well, I ate the magic bug and now I have the mega immortal defeating weapon. Well, I have the mega immortal defeating weapon. Well, I have the everything proof shield. I have the everything proof shield beating weapon. That's literally how fucking cultivation works half the time. And I'm looking at it, and the dread came over me last night. Middle of the night, 2 a.m. I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my fucking god, am I going to have to write an entire fucking way to cultivate? I'm going to have to literally take this idea and cultivate my own cultivation. Generally speaking, I want to avoid that because that's fucking insane. That is absolute crazy talk. But we gotta do what we gotta do. Now, I thought for a bit, let's look at other angles, other positions. Maybe there's something else I can reference. Maybe. What else did he really note? Well, I'm gonna give you a secret. It was Kamen Rider. He kept referencing it was Kamen Rider and like Toku stuff in general, as well as things like Magical Girls. And I'm like, and that you would make an argument that, you know, Super Sentai stuff does fall into this as well, which generally speaking, it's going to be more Super Sentai than probably like strict Kamen Rider, because writers are fun, but writers are weird. Shin Kamen Rider's coming soon, even though Shin Kamen Rider looks pretty fucking metal. I could bring this up because it looks pretty fucking baller. I'm not gonna lie, it does really fucking hit hard. I'm ready. I see an exit here. Oh, no. What do you mean an exit? Power, you make the cultivation power up the suits to a degree, because the basic way how I'm seeing things already, this is note creativity kicking in at full gear. The basic concept is that the characters are cultivators. However, they are pretty much shit cultivators. They pretty much are skipping ahead. Because actually, funnily enough, in Amazing Cultivation Simulator, that game, the entire ending sequence of the game is actually very interesting. Pretty much, everyone got sealed away in a pocket fucking dimension that allowed them to cultivate about 250 times faster than they normally should. Instead of taking years, it's taking days. However, what happens is at the very end of Amazing Cultivation Simulator, congratulations, the main chief mega god actually breaks out of the false reality and says, okay, let's cultivate for real now. Let's do this shit for realsies this time. Now, what I'm going to do, pretty much the idea is that the characters are cultivated. The problem is they're really shit at it. Their bodies are not prepared for it. But you got just enough. You're just good enough to kind of cultivate. You kinda can cultivate, but not really. But this is where the big thing is, the transformations. Transformations are pretty much a expression of it. Yeah, that's kind of the idea. Transformation is an expression of your cultivation powers. When you clap your hands together and you do full transformation, that's you exuding energy to allow you to do things. That's cool. We like that idea. We like the idea that the more you transform, the more karma you actually build up. Which, hit 109 karma, you're fucked. You're out. You've transformed into something very evil. You failed to cultivate. And that's consumed you. You know, internal alchemy and being external being Guyver. Stuff like, yeah, it's, oh, well, I've built so much power up, I'm now going to, and my internal body is now can't take it anymore. I've added too much, you know, ingredients to the pot. I'm dead. Or the players need an item to transform. Thought about that, and what I was thinking about doing, it's more along the idea of, like, if you want to, that'd be more of an optional, in my eyes. Now, we've got this basic idea. It's a wushu, like a wushu Power Ranger device, yes. So, pretty much characters are cultivators, but you're not very good at it. Every time you, with the constant idea that you need to build karma, vent karma, get XP, get, you know, refine the cultivation. That's kind of the basic, the cycle. You do things to build up your karma, to vent it quickly. You need to be just as much as you are superpowered or human to do these things right. Too much power, not enough humanity, you're gonna die. Not enough power, too much humanity, you're never gonna get karma. So you end up in kind of a shitty situation, so you kind of need to balance it. Hence we have the Hidden Cultivator Lifestyle Simulator. Boom, simple, we got it, we're Gucci. Now, problem is, if this was it, this would be fine. The problem comes in two ideas. So, you know, it's kind of like the characters transform to fight devil. Devil or demon, I don't really know what to call them yet. There's a couple of ideas, there's a couple, kind of options there. Gain karma, vent karma, get stronger, fight devil, etc. You're constantly getting stronger by virtue of fighting them. Problem is right here. Not necessarily what you're going to be doing. Yeah, fire deviation. Yeah, that's kind of like, you don't want to suffer that fire deviation, because in normal cultivation, like, I've suffered fire deviation. Something really bad has happened. To you just die. Your body ain't ready for this shit. It's like, oh, hey, I've built up all my internal alchemy, and now I'm going to die. Like, your body just melts down. You broke. You can't suffer that. You're a shit cultivator. You're kind of a cultivator against your will, even. So it's like, okay, we've got this idea. The problem is, what powers are available? What do these characters do? If it was just punching and kicking and doing some very light ideas, that would be fine. That would be really fine. Problem is, it's not. That's not what he wants. This is purely from a fuck, like, fuck, what do I do? Because luckily enough, again, it's like, he's not just referencing like, oh, I want Common Rider. No, he actually also said he wants magical girls. Yes, good old-fashioned magical girls on top of everything. Toku for girls. Now, it's like, all right, this should be simple enough. This is ideal that we can just reference it from magical girl stuff. But even that's a little bit complicated to worry about. Like, what do you fucking do? What do you reference from this? What do you get? What are the main question for today? Ultimately boils down to what powers does cultivating give you? Most notably, what big powers? Use the 8 trigrams and make them choose. Trigrams. Hey, let's research. Let's research 8 trigrams, everybody. Chinese 8 trigrams, like earthly heavens. So, Creative, the joyous, the clinging, the arousing, gentle, abysmal, keeping, receptive. Oh, Jesus. We're gonna have to go back into Chinese internal fucking alchemy! Oh, sweet. I mean, in relation to other principles. So if we use heaven equals force, lake heaven's displacement. It doesn't look like we can get displacement, so it's 64 trigrams. Earlier heaven. Don't really need to worry about earlier heaven. We use trigram for lake. The fuck is dwelling people? What does this mean? The family. Okay. Fuck me. Because one option would be this would be like my one option in kind of situation. We let you pick. In this, we take you you pick 3 it would be hexagrams. It would be trigrams. You pick 3 trigrams. Pick 3 trigrams, and then you end up getting your hexagram. So the idea would be, let's say I choose heaven, lake, flame. Heaven, lake, flame. Technically, I have force, spreading, concording people, displacement, open, skinning, great possessing, polarizing, and radiant. These are just the words I owe. These are part of my hexagram, but even that like, what the fuck is converting the maiden? The fuck kind of superpower is that? Oh man, I can marry people. What the fuck? I can't find modifiers for a 3d6 game. Find a 3d6 game. The one thing I'm worried about, that one thing I'm really worried that it's like what the fuck does fucking welling, the well, oh boy, the well means quite a lot, I guess, but it's like at the end of the day, unless we do something like later early heaven, late heaven. Likunda Shan Kangen Zhen fire, earth, lake, heaven, water, wind. Okay, so let's think about this. Let's just take some idea. We want King Wen's later heaven. Let's consult later heaven, which sounds like a fucking Metal Gear reference. So, just basic idea, we have our we've got, fire, earth, lake, heaven, water, I guess, is on there. Mountain, thunder, wind. We have our basic, Chinese internal alchemy of fire, wind. So we have our basic elements, which is fire, water, earth, metal. Fire, water, earth, metal, because fire is doused by water. Water douses them. Fuck, what's the last one? Wood? Wood, isn't it? Chinese elements. And Chinese elements. Chinese fire, earth, metal, water, wood. Fucking wood, isn't it? Yeah, fire, water, earth, metal, wood. Welcome to Chinese elemental philosophy, everybody. You thought you were going... Do elements wheel with the trigram. Because if we use this for not king. Okay, well, let's go deeper. Chinese internal alchemy. I need to learn more about the internal alchemy. Let's learn about Taoism, Taoistic medicines. Because the natural idea would be chi. Like chi is like going to be the big thing. Chi is the ultimate reason. Yeah, this is our, this is our ultimate thing. Everything we do is ultimately going to be chi based. I jump over something. Gonna use chi. I want to blast them with fire. Chi energy. I want to call down the force of heaven. Chi energy, baby. Everything is chi. Like, where is it? There's got to be something in it. There's got to be attaining Taoist immortality. Tell me more about immortality. What are we working with here? Please, God. Highest level Earth immortal. Escape by means of simulated corpse simulacrum immortal. Corpse untie immortal. Wow. Thanks, China. The weakest immortal. Flying immortals, roaming immortals, void traveling immortals, heaven traveling immortals, all penetrate immortals of the way, illuminate immortals, some absolute. Gotta remember all our fucking statutes. God, son of a. I want off. Okay, so, magical girl's powers. Give me something to work with here. Superhuman everything. That's what we like to hear. We like Pula Magi Madoka Magica. Because fuck. Chinese elements. Come on. Give me something to work with here. Superpowers. Perhaps we do the idea of bloodbound words. Because we need to do something light, we need to do something. It can't be too invasive. And do. Presence of works. This is a million kilometers into Wusha Chuni fantasy. Yes, it is, and I have to do it because I need to fix this. Because, like, the big idea, like, right now is he wants big powers. I don't know how to give him them. Because overall, the basic concept works. If he did not specify that, this would be easy. This would be walking on easy street. We'd be working on it already. We'd get fucking character creation done today. But the fact that he wants big and impressive powers in the fucking Toku Cultivation game, I have no idea what I'm doing. That singular thing has thrown everything off. Trigram, yeah, I'm in. I have anything from. Let's see, is there anything I can reference? Give me the wiki. Give me something. Give me something. Where's my man? Where's my man? Where's my... Be a man, you must be stronger than be a man. Big impressive fun powers. We like big impressive property. Feng Shui, not sentient, no. Ins 5. Tell me something big. Tell me about big items. Tell me about special moves. Some special moves. Tell me something, please. I'm begging you. World, give me something. Something needs to be here. Oh, world. Informations. I got about. We're gonna think on you. Jando Cultivation. Cast spells and miracles. Cool. Spells and miracles. Tell me something more. Give me something. You need a golden core, primordial spirit, astrological sight, pearl broken down into Jando miracle. Divinity incarnation. Talking about dust storm through miracle. I've been looking at things differently. New kind of hope for a new kind. Small miracles. Need a miracle. Need a magic powers. Cultivation fantasy. Who should have magic? Prerequisites. Not spells, not Shandao and Shandao cultivation. The spells can be cast in combat, but not anything else. So spell power bonus, and then we have basic offensive spells. Ozarth, the cultivation path, tag, outer discipline can be prone to inner discipline, which is one of the foundation events. Premium laws, Tai laws, laws, thank you, rare remnant. Ground chariot wisdom law. Ground chariot wisdom, actually. Sweet. Oh. I need calls. Be a man. Okay, maybe I'm looking at this wrong. I need to think about something a little bit more different. Thinks again, we've got law. Take an outer of the your unique path. Through martial arts and mystic arts, manuals and break. And this Shandao. Shandao is they use belief, physical laws, physical cultivation is used body. You don't usually have anything here, so it's all the tent. This is a completely different way of fucking doing things. Think. What are we really thinking of? What are we actually needing? For powers. Something. Ions and power. Open powers. Open power TTRP. What are we looking for? Not Ravenbound, not fuck you, powered by the no, okay, power fantasy RPG. Okay, we're working. Fucking exalted, soulbound, obelisk, godbound, super fantasy. Okay, maybe we can. Oh, what am I looking for? Am I looking at fucking Nen? Do I have to look at Nen? Well, I'm seriously trying to think of fucking Nen at this. Oh God, I'm getting desperate from looking at Nen. What am I looking for? Let's take a step back. Take a step back. Let's think. Let's think. What do I want? Need something to give me an idea. Something for big powers. 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 Now, if we go under the concept that... Now, if we go under the basic kind of idea that, you know, you are stronger physically, you know, you're stronger physically and mentally, but you're... So it's kind of the idea, unless you are properly cultivating, you're wasting away. You are always ticking up very fast and going all the way back down, just up, down, up, down, up, down. Now, if we go into the idea of miracles, so we want to do maybe we look at Shansha, miracle, powers. Tell me more about powers. She here is paramount mystical power. Okay, maybe. Okay, cool. Fuck, that's not anything what I'm looking for here. This is exactly not what I'm looking for. Is series of Jade. Legends of Eight Immortals. Oh. Am I looking at the wrong place? That's the thing. Am I looking at the wrong location? Should I be looking at something different? Right answer. What do you think about tearing half character sheets? Kind of a gimmick, but nothing too. It is a gimmick though. Superhero TTR. Let's take a look at this. I want nice and open. Immediately showing me the Marvel Multiverse fucking role-playing game. Fucking it's Dicebreaker. Of course it's Dicebreaker. God, I hate Dicebreaker. What am I looking for? Okay, maybe let's look in my folder. Maybe there's something I can find in here. Maybe we want to look at something modernish. Maybe there's the option to look at modernish. Okay, there's got to be something in here. Got to be something. I don't know where else to look right now. Really don't. Now you understand why I decided to do this. Because I just need something to look at. Because I'm getting very... I wouldn't say desperate. I think the correct term would be very confused. Because he wants detailed, but not super detailed. He wants big powers, but not astronomical size. Yeah, it's... Well, again, like the issue with the trigrams, the issue with the trigram right now is, let's say, like, oh, I have heaven and lake. I would have treading. That would be my hexagram. It would be treading, which is continuing the inner lower trigram and swamp, and its upper, like, it'd be treading. It'd be conducting. What the fuck is conducting going to? Or like, oh, cool. I chose this one. Converting the maiden. Marrying maiden, returning maiden, marrying younger sister. Not being in a position to make things happens one way. It'd be like, okay, is that the one of wanting to bang your sister? And like, oh, don't worry, here's my superpower, guys. I just want to fuck my sister. Like, yeah, no, that ain't gonna work. Open. Detailed. Detailed, open. The trigrams probably make a whole of a lot of sense if... I mean, it's one of those things where if you're looking at it being like, oh man, you know, my fucking names are, you know, everything is kind of in here, my flame and thunder, like, oh, biting through, biting and chewing, okay, this makes a lot of sense to me, but it's the same thing as like, oh, I drew a fucking tarot card suddenly, and I'm at an advantage. Of course, I have a fundamental advantage suddenly, elemental magic. Personal abilities. Yeah, even like the thing is like, am I looking at something from the wrong? Am I looking at it from the wrong angle? You'd have 3 words: the first, the second, and the hexagram. You can then allow them by working on unlocking duplicate hexagram. Yeah, but then that's still going to run into the issue of like, oh, I have lake twice, unless I have to reinterpretize like what. Still is looking at this from the wrong angle. Maybe I have to look outside cultivation. Looking out, am I getting too stuck in the cultivation? That's my question. Am I getting too stuck into it? If I am, how do I get out of it? Less. Yeah, maybe exactly. Am I going down the wrong side? Am I going down the wrong angle? There has to be an option. There is an option here. There's a thing here that I'm not seeing. There is an answer. So if there is an answer, there has to be. What is it though? What is this answer? Ah, yes, Masked Rider, very different. For Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, a friend in need. Dex Stewart. Rider powers. I'm looking at riders. Common Rider physiology. Kuga. Okay, maybe. Well, let's look at Kuga, everybody. Kamen Rider Kuga. What do you do? Kuga. Hello, Kuga. Kamen Rider Kuga. Titular Rider protagonist. Reboot of Trias, following Kamen Rider 16th Rider overall, along with the various powers created by ancient Into tribe. Blah, blah, blah. A lot of transformation stuff. Program as a base, make your own bodies suffix. Okay. Alright, new plan, everybody. We're being autistic. Let's be real fucking autistic. So, what we need to do, very simply, we need a new power system. We need to just literally just hand do it. Fuck it, we're not going to reference anything, we're not going to think about anything, we're going to do it by hand. We're going to have to reference it, and we're going to understand it. Cool. We want to base it off of Kamen Rider. This is the big thing we're going to be doing. So, the idea is Kamen Rider-esque. Now, here's the gimmick, here's the thing with it. We're going to use some basic concepts. So, you're pretty much, you are I wouldn't say false cultivators, but this is how we're going to justify it. So you are false cultivators, pretty much forced to use your body as an internal alchemical engine. You go too far, suffer fire deviation, and explode. Go stall out, and wither away. That's the basic idea. We're constantly building up to level 10, in which you are able to either cast it aside and go back to being a normal person, or ascend up. You've gotten so strong, you're able to make that choice. You don't have the choice now. That's the thing. We want to make that as a basic idea. Your job is to kill demons. Your job is to kill demons or devils or monsters, whatever the fuck it is. That's generally your job. You've been chosen by whatever fucking force of nature has turned you into one of these things for the sole purpose of killing. Effectively, again, that's kind of the idea. Like, you've been granted ultimate power, just do your fucking job or you're going to wither away. Or, like, you need to do this. Carrot and stick. Here's superpowers, do your fucking job. This is gonna be a long shot, but I need to remember Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer. Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer. If you've never seen Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer, it's fucking amazing. Go watch it. Go or read it. Technically, it's got an anime series right now. This is the main guy. Let me just remember it. Beast Knight powers domain control from his magic ring. However, However, proved itself next to useless in the beginning. Calls retreat gimmick. Pretty much he has a false telekinesis ability. You want to look at fucking Snake Girl, which is pretty cool, but we're also really not proficient in Kendo, Flame Burst Coils. Visible, which you can improve version of. Multiple ribbons overall and devours the enemy. Because that's the entire concept behind domain control. Domain control its basic form is a bubble. If used in conjunction with one more domain of control's effects, its stacks will stack. Everybody gets the ability to do this. Everyone has basic concepts. It's more about refining it, how you choose. Suffer one deviation for some free cat years. Have no fear, everybody. So, actually, if you are false cultivator, pretty much forced to use your body, go too far, suffer fire deviation, and explode, stall out, and wither away. Which actually, we can actually kind of factor that in, being like, or other deviations. Other kinds. So it's kind of like one of those things, is it's like, you've been given this role inadvertently, kind of. You've got your power to, you've pretty much superpowered, but everyone has the basic same concept in mind. Think smart, think fast. Okay. New idea. So, basic concept is everybody has, what are we going to call? We're not going to call it domain control, that's a little bit on the nose. But thank God I read Lucifer and Biscuit Hammer. Now, what am I thinking of? What's a good word? Chinese internal alchemy is what we need to. Chinese internal alchemy, Naiden. Internal alchemy, Naiden. Chi manipulation. Actually, we can do. If we treat Chi as kind of the basic, is the vital flow. Yeah, so you pretty much, everybody has Chi manipulation. That's just the most basic concept of it. This is what you have. This is who you are. Is the idea that you now have, you can access your own internal logic. You access your own internal Chi. Since you have the Chi manipulation, you're allowed to do that. This is where things start getting wonkier. Chi manipulation by itself is just raw fucking energy. It's not very good. You need to refine it. The idea is you need to refine Chi to the self. Kind of the basic idea. You need to refine your abilities to you in particular. Anybody else, no simple way of doing this. You gotta do it by you. You're the one inventing these styles. So if we go down here, we're gonna all the way back over here. So we can also tie it to our basic. We use this, we can tie it to an attribute. So abilities are tied to attributes. So we get the idea that abilities are tied to your attributes. So these are basic attributes. So you refined it down to do something. I want to refine this down. So abilities are tied to attributes. We can also, maybe abilities are tied to. What else are we working with? Because what we can do now with the transformation is transformation allows easier manipulation of Chi. Okay. Okay. So here's the current line of thought. Here's the current line of thought. I'm not going insane. Just bear with me here. Bear with me. Okay. Give me. Oh Jesus. Oh Jesus. People are posting. Okay. Okay. Just bear with me. Okay, we're gonna do this all. Feng Shui compass. Now, we have basic chi manipulation. Every single person, you've become a false cultivator. You have been drafted into a war. You're not quite sure what's going on. All you know, you have to kill devils. You have to kill demons. That is your new job. You peter out, you're going to wither away. You go 150%, you're going to explode. You need to keep a good meridian. You need to find a balance. Core theme throughout the game. Balance is key. Balance makes you stronger. Balance your cultivator, balance your relationship, balance your power, balance your abilities. Strong, you need to stay weak. You need to get in that nice area you need to get in your meridian. You get into that good flow of things. Our basic power structure has to relate to that. Basic is just you can manipulate your own internal energy. That power deep inside of you allows you to go. It's your ability to go fast and just do things. Everybody has the basic ability to simply pump energy into doing things. I can pump my power into being faster, being stronger, being smarter, being or why, more, it's kind of more of your conversation. I can just pump my own energy into doing that. But there's problems, of course. It's a poor expenditure. Hence, you want to make techniques. You want to make things that refine it. You need to refine chi. If you just refine it, you're good. It's like here. Let me see if we do. It's by itself, it's not actually very good. That's it's the fact that you need to refine it. I'm able to manipulate my abilities by virtue of expending this resource. If I have a certain amount of chi, I'm able to burn it a little bit away. I'm able to kind of manipulate it a lot easier. But, if I'm transformed, I'm getting a lot more of it. I'm constantly building up, but that's what I'm supposed to do. But I'm supposed to burn it faster. I go fast, gotta hit harder, gotta go stronger. Need to be bigger, tougher, stronger, wiser. However, here's where the catch comes in. If you refine it, it's going to be cheaper overall. You refine it down to a technique, you can only use it for a very certain thing. I'm going to do that one thing, but you have it. It's going to be a lot cheaper overall on this basic, kind of internal power you have. Power's always ticking down, though. You need to rest, you need to relax, you need to generally balance yourself and balance this amount of energy you have. The stronger you get, the more you have, the more you're able to expend it. However, transformed, you're allowed to manipulate it better, so you need to tie it these abilities. So we have most abilities, so we do so if we do this, so if we do operate under the idea, so we have refinements which are cost effective but specific. Cost effective but specific, that's kind of their problem then. You want to refine things down. Now, of course, you can always do more. Stick arts are not tied to abilities, but represent chi expenditure to do things. down the idea of martial arts. Tied to abilities. And things, and our final one, of course, would be like this. Ah, God, what would you even call these? Like, pretty much like miracles. I guess I'm just gonna call them miracles for now. So pretty much martial arts, if you develop more deeper martial arts, it's your ability to act faster, get more actions, but you're dumping chi to do it. That's the basic dumping chi to do things. Mystic arts are your magic bullshit abilities. Miracles are effectively your ability to manipulate others except you. It's you be able to push your chi out to affect others around you to help you with something. I don't quite know how to word it. Again, this is all very theoretical. Mechanics wise, no fucking idea how I'm going to make it. But we just need something. On chi. Yeah, again, I'm not really concerned with namings right now. It's just kind of like the basic concepts and just have something in place, right? So if we go under this idea, so if we rinse, what other there's gotta be something I referenced. Done something like this. Apache move. Nope, nope. Are you? Are you? I guess we'd have to reference Changsha. Where's Changsha, where are you when I need you? And you don't get referenced often, but get in here. Or the good, the bad, and the Xia. Styles. Styles and a unique idea, but this is the idea of the offensive move. Where did I do that? What did I do? I know I did something. Project. I know Gai. I did some stuff with it. I had to do stuff with it. But Gai was directly referenced from fucking Project Deep Sea. No, Project Deep Sea. That's where I did the custom magic spells. Did I take it? Wonder if I just did it for Gai. Am I gonna have to reference fucking? I'm gonna have to reference Guy, aren't I? Fate, what have you done to me? Because actually, what we can do, what if we do this correctly, what it's effectively going to be doing, adding elemental effects, we're going to have to make effectively an entire concept of refinement. We're going to have to make this it's almost an entirely self-contained power system. That's just what we're going to have to do. Chi is a resource. He is a resource. I don't really know what else to call it because we do the big power boost. We do. If we go under the concept of that, like untransformed, you have like minimum chi. Like that's the, like you just have minimum amount of chi to work. If you're in your standard transform, transformation, you have pretty much your average amount of chi. Like you have actually being able to manipulate your chi. Your strong transformation is that when you unlock more abilities and effects, because that's then we can actually use it as a chi base. We use transformations as an amount of time we can actually invest in powers. The more bigger your transformations are, the more abilities you have to dump in there, allowing you to use chi differently. Oh my Jesus Christ. Okay, it's okay. Unlock more abilities and higher chi amount and higher chi amounts. Unlock more abilities, and then we do our final transformation, which I've just been calling it the Sin Devil trigger because that's really what it is. The Sin Devil trigger. That's what it's like. Final amount of ability. These are your final abilities, and higher and largest available chi amounts. Like you're going all out. You got nothing left. That's your final gambit. So the entire concept would be more along the lines of pretty much chi abilities are tiered in a way. Chi abilities are tiered. Each tier tied to a transformation. Each tier tied to a transformation with a certain amount of chi points being able to be distributed. So with each tier would tie to a transformation with a certain amount of points being among them. So technically, you're only going to have your standard. You're only really going to have like a standard. A few standard abilities that allow you to do some fairly impressive things. That's the entire concept. These are going to be very impressive abilities, but they're going to have pretty standard cheat costs. They're refined. These are refined cheat costs. So your abilities are more like this. So technically, if I want to do this specifically, right, these are actually going to be more tied to this section, while these refinements are their own special thing. These are like, okay, I've refined it, but I can only add certain elemental effects and things, so we can actually tie everything over here. Refinements are always going to be the most efficient thing. Okay. We're going to have to make a new custom power. We're going to have to make a new custom power system almost from the ground up a little bit. How do we determine how much chi we have? If we take this as a baseline, again, if we take this as a baseline, what we can do is we manipulate this further to allow you to change things around, having more options to do. tying your actions over here, because if you use more actions to generate more chi, actions can generate chi. Maybe it's like, maybe it is just kind of like a raw resource. Maybe it is a raw final resource that you need to actually kind of manage at kind of like the start of the day. You roll like a d10, but if you're in standard transformation, you get kind of a constant ticking amount, like you have a flat value. Maybe like flat value chi. How do you feel about a meta currency you only get when you fail? Can be a little bit discouraging, but I'm also kind of the person who's not a big fan of meta currencies. I've kind of drifted away from meta currencies. It is slowly coming together. I might sound like I'm going fucking insane, and the answer is I am. I am going completely insane with it. But we use this. And also then tie things like an art. We tie this to their mystic arts are going to be like almost, again, these are pretty much just going to be the spells. Spells and more exotic ability. These are going to be almost complete. However, your miracles on the other hand are going to be almost completely narrative. Completely narrative effects, and these affect, again, these are completely affecting the narrative and narrative of moments, effects, and triggers. So at its core, I'm saying is we need to hand make a we need to hand make a new power create. We can actually use this. Yeah, it's like, oh well, you're just using this again, but it has to be very different because there's a very different approach to what we have to do here. Can't really reference just weapons anymore because you're going to be writers and you're punching. Your ability to do things is important. And since we're using a D100, it's a completely different system. We're not using a dice pool. It's a fucking D100 with the ability to manipulate dice. But since we're going to be doing that, it's going to be able to reference this a bit more. These are what a vast majority of the refinements are going to look like. Martial arts, miracles, or mystics. I guess you can also add there, so it's kind of adding elemental effects, you know, constitution, we manipulate this. We're giving him power, we're giving him big powers without ever actually giving him big powers. We have to say we're giving him big powers, but not actually. The more you get strong, obviously the bigger your effects are going to be because you're just going to be able to pump in more chi to it. That resource is valuable, but you're burning it away. You don't have enough. You never have enough chi. Actually, if we do something like kind of like chi building, just like you get like a D10, it'll be like D10 per transformation. So So D10 per transformation, so it would be something more along the lines of standard, you'd get like D10. Super, you'd get 2D10. And Sin Devil Trigger. And Sin Devil Trigger would get you 3D10. That seems like a pretty terrible idea, actually. Awful. Really terrible, genuinely awful idea. I guess until we actually, I guess we can do like manipulate action economy. Maybe manipulate action economy for chi. But yeah, we just have to use chi as kind of like a baseline. Actually, I guess level 4 chi. Maybe we do something like 10 chi. We do like 10 chi a level. So at level 10, you'd have 100 chi to work with, but you can only unlock certain amounts of it. So, for example, during standard transformation, you can go up to, let's say, like 30 chi. Actually, no, you'd be able to go up to 30 chi. So you can't really manipulate that much. However, here you'd be able to go up to 50 chi. And Sin Devil Trigger means you go up to 60 plus chi. But the idea being like, yeah, here's like a hard cap of the amount of chi you're actually able to use. So if you're untransformed, you can only use like 10 chi. Like you have very limited resources right off the bat. But you want to manipulate, want to use all this chi because that chi is going to allow you to do things. So on average, you're going to have about 30 to work. 30 good boy points to kind of manipulate combat strikes with having to do a dedicated action to get them back. Because you're only going to have 2 actions, so you want to manipulate the action economy out of your favor to do this. We can also somewhat treat that as kind of an ablative armor. You have like your basic overhealth, which is going to be that, but if you start taking a lot of damage, you can just burn your chi to do things. So you're always going to want to start burning it down. You're never going to have enough. You take 10 damage, you don't have the health for it, you burn 10 chi. That's just it's a terrible expenditure. But that's not the point. It's supposed to be a terrible expenditure because you're not supposed to be doing this. So it's a resource. It's something to manipulate. Because if we go under that concept, something isn't adding up. But it's not adding up. Something isn't adding up. Yeah, we're just gonna have to do. We just do a raw full power thing. We have to do it, but then that's actually refinements. You only can refine a certain number of techniques. You yourself, that's a very different thing. That's a personal ability that you've done, but you can only refine a certain number of them over your entire career. You don't have enough. You can only do so much. It takes time, it takes effort, and it takes kind of space in your body. That is where training comes in. Since that's where training comes in, because what's going to happen there is you can find the magic manual that allows you to learn something. You eat the magic bug pill, and now you have chitin armor. Nobody else can eat the magic bug pill, only you can. But that's also going to allow you to burn 2 chi and get 30 fucking armor this round. Being like, yeah, I can block it all. I'm the only one who ate that pill, because that's the only pill in existence. So your bigger powers start going there. If you want to break down a mountain, you totally fucking can. You just gotta burn it. You're going to be making a strength refinement. You're going to be making a might refinement. Might refinement is going to quickly burn you. It's going to be fucking hard. But yeah, you're going to be able to do it because you're going to be able to make that roll. You will be able to make that roll. That's one of the big things too. It's the idea of allowing. Which is going to be, that would be if I want to sunder a fucking mountain. You want to sunder a mountain. That would be a miracle plus a might refinement. You are making the narrative truth that you can fucking do this. Charging up to your full fucking power. It's going to be a hard-ass roll. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be an insanely difficult roll. Chop open that mountain. But it's not impossible. Because you've made it possible. You've broken the limit. But it's going to cost you a shit ton of chi. You might not have that much chi to do. And it's like, oh yeah, you just don't have this amount. Being this like, yeah, perform a miraculous feat might cost you 40 fucking chi. That ain't gonna fucking happen. You gotta be in your second transformation sequence to even attempt it. You gotta be in your third transformation sequence to even attempt something like. And yeah, you're not gonna unlock, your Sin fucking Devil Trigger till level 6. Okay, this is going to be a little bit weird, but I mean, I can do it. A little bit worried here. This is going to get a little bit awkward, but if we keep things relatively standard. Generally speaking, this is fine. I think this works just fine. This is going to be a little awkward to handle because it's going to be kind of a unique system. Combat is going to be the weird bit, but what I'm going to bank on is the fact that your combat is going to be very Japanese. We're actually going to make this very much a JTRPG. We're going to get this very JTRPG inspired because the entire idea is that you want to go big and you want to burn out. So that's going to be kind of one of the big ideas. It's going to be a bigger concept, the idea of burning it out. The more you burn out, the faster you're going. Go fast, you need to burn out, so we need to reference. Yeah, we're watching fucking Devil Cry just because I just need something to fucking work with. Because Dante would be pretty much in his standard transformation. He's pretty much just that is just what he operates at almost. It's not necessarily that he's weak, it's just that he just isn't at his full power. He doesn't need to be. That's the entire thing. He has the ego to not need to do that anymore. He's able to bully the shit out of Virgil very easily. That's the point. That's the idea. He's able manipulate that, and every time he's blocking, every time he's doing things, he's actually building back up. He's constantly building and constantly expending. But when he goes there, he goes into his super form. He goes into his first one and then into his final form, his full Sin Devil trick. But then he has to revert back. He doesn't need to do it for very long. So he can do something like partial transformation. So you may only want to do it for like an action. You may want to do that for like an action and then burn yourself away, do a big ability, and then pull out. So it's kind of like bang, bang, bang. I've done my full combo. I can pull out now. I don't need to give a shit. I think that wouldn't be the idea. We can do the combo mechanic, but then we can also base it off of maybe use that for martial techniques as well. Martial arts is the idea of manipulating the combo to do it next. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. I think I have it. Not going to be pretty, mind you. Not going to be pretty. Doesn't need to be pretty. Not the point. Doesn't need to be pretty. What it needs to do is needs to work. It's going to be a fucking grind. I can tell you that much right now. It is going to be a nightmarish grind to get all the powers. You're not going to have many powers. I'm probably only going to say you're going to get like 3 major refinements that are really personal to you. That's not the point, really. It's you're doing things to maybe get abilities that the GM is kind of planned for you. You know, it's like you have your own special abilities that are kind of built for you, but it's mostly the GM kind of giving you some things through training, eating magic pills, you know, fucking hunting shit. You know how it goes. I've seen you use poker cards in White Carnation one way. What other ways can you use cards in RPG? Give me 1 second as I turn the light on, because I am sitting in the dark currently, talking about my life is hard. So, cards. There's a few ways to use cards. Resolution mechanic wise, I would say there's about I'd say there's 3 methods to do like resolution mechanics. Basic way, let's say we have a basic hand of 5 cards. Basic resolution might be like you need to just hit over a certain number. So you draw 5 cards or whatever, and I have a 10 and 7 of diamonds. I've beat the target number of, let's say, like 10. I've beat the target number. That's all that really matters. Usually what happens with those is that they're tied to certain things. That's kind of how Tokyo Nova handles it. Tokyo Nova, you might have a check of, oh, it's going to be 15. But it's like, okay, I can use clubs for this check and I can use diamonds. So I'm going to combine those 2 together. I can hit my roll. There's the poker method. Poker method is usually what happens there, as I draw cards up a little bit, is you look at your hand and it's like, okay, shit hand. What? See if I can't draw a better hand. Five. So you look at your hand and being like, okay, I have shit. I have a lot of shit. Do I have anything good? Come on, let me draw something decent. Okay. Let's say, for example, I have a 2 pair. I have 4 of diamonds and 4 of hearts. I put it down. My 2 pair might be worth something. Because I have a 2 pair, I have 2 points or whatever. You know, or, you know, later on I might get a 4, a 5, and a 6, you know, 4, 5, 6, 7, you know, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I might score different points. Let's see other ones at the top of my head. There is the poker, that's the poker, there's the blackjack mechanic, in which blackjack is you have to play up to a certain amount. You pretty much play blackjack against somebody. In case people don't know how to play fucking blackjack, pretty much you end up with a card on your table, and it's like, okay, and you know, so you know, the dealer goes over, he goes over here, he's like, haha, you got a 19, and the entire idea is that luck is more dependent on where you need to go or what kind of cards you need. Outside of that, usually it's applied to things like bonuses or initiative, as in how Savage Worlds does it. Because in Savage Worlds, how that works is what happens is you draw a card at the top of the deck, and it might say, cool, I got a 4. Okay. And oh, I got a 3, so I'm going to act before the guy with 3. But I got a king of diamonds, so he operates before all of us. And it's all about priority. Generally speaking, cards are both very freeing, but also incredibly limiting. That's kind of one of the big problems when it comes to cards in general, is you get a lot of options, but you also can't do that much with it. It is, I would say there's about as much as you can do with dice. It's just people kind of see it as a gimmick, so that's what it kind of feels like sometimes. Is there probably different methods of doing things? Yeah. You can probably do some other kind of gambling games with it. That would be my thing, is try to explore different ways of doing it, pretty much. That's why I've been always kind of had a difficulty of making a card-based game, is because all my ideas would inevitably go back to making a Western. Because you could just play poker, because that's very thematic. And if you look at a lot of Western games, that's a very thematic. So yeah, those are the amount of what you can do with cards usually. A little bit limiting, and both very free, depending on how you view it. I would say technically poker dice exist as well. Cogs does poker dice, actually, which does operate the same kind of idea. Okay, I think I got the idea. I've got the idea, I've got the concept. I just need to write everything down, and it's going to be a fucking nightmare. I can tell you that much right now. It's going to be a nightmare to do. But I feel confident. That, and I'm giving myself actually quite a bit of time for this one. Oh, that's another thing. That's, I've seen it once before. Usually those are very narrative games, so I usually don't end up talking about them at all, or really pursuing them. But I'm going to give myself quite a bit of time on this particular game, on Flip's Judgment. Generally speaking, my goal is to get done by the end of the month. That means that we're going to have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, there's going to be potentially 8 streams, 8, maybe even 9 streams dedicated to this game. Generally speaking, because it's going to be kind of a bigger one. I don't think it's going to take 9 fucking streams to do. I'm just going to say there's probably going to be a lot of work on this one. And I'm feeling both confident and very wary. Very, very worried. So I think this is going to work. I need to, ironically enough, what I need to do is I need to refine this chi manipulation. I'm going to run it by my friend. And if anything, he's a dreamer, he's a thinker, he's a man with a mission. So what I'm going to probably do is I'm going to compile everything I need to compile today and send it to the commissioner. That'll be step 1. Once I get done by sending everything to the commissioner, I'm going to send this particular aspect to my friend. And we're going to probably try to hammer something out a little bit more detailed. And if I can get something more detailed from him, awesome. If not, well, I'll see what I can do. I don't want to just copy Guy's thing one for one, because I don't think that's going to quite work, but it's effectively going to have a very similar vibe to it, but not nearly as extensive, you could say. I will see if he wants to do some more, like, go down the route of more, like, exotic PCs. If not, cool, we don't really need to worry about that aspect. He does want to go down kind of that more option. I do have options for that, but we can start experiencing some of the other deviation. Fire deviation is just going to be kind of the, like, the ultimate fuck you option, but other deviations are going to be very possible. Burning out is a bad idea. You don't want to burn out just as much as you don't want anything else to happen. So, I'm going to call it there. Thank you all for watching. My name is Notepad Anon. I think we did quite good today. We made our brand new cultivation system. Hopefully that worked. I will, most likely, tomorrow we're going to be working on the solar system video, which, that one's going to be weird. For those who don't remember, the solar system is right here. It's an SRD. I actually kind of read it, and I actually kind of enjoyed it. It was a little bit weird. I'm not like a super mega fan of it, but I'm like, this is kind of an interesting idea, and I wish that you kind of got some more eyes on it. Most notably, we're going to actually be using it to go over Rose, which is a really not great interpretation of it, which I thought was kind of weird. Like, I didn't like it as much as just the base system, but yeah, here's the Dew and Rose. We're gonna be going over that one tomorrow. On Thursday, we're gonna be going over Kiz Nights. Yeah, so I made it. I'm gonna make the point, like, we're gonna go over Kiz Nights. The big thing is that this weekend, actually, this Saturday, we're gonna do a micro case, and that micro case is gonna be on fucking Giant Land. So, ready thyself for Giant Lands. We're gonna have a lot of fun with that one. It's gonna be weird. Don't get me wrong, it's gonna be fucking weird, but I think we can do it together. Using the power of friendship and ultra violence, we're going to be able to kick our way through. Also, because people have been. Yesterday, I got everything here. It's real fast. Save this to my desktop. A string of numbers that 2 a.m. Notepad will need to interpret. Yesterday, I actually did a little bit of looking around, a little bit of work to kind of, I wouldn't say necessarily finish anything up, but more along the lines of kind of see where I'm looking to go. because officially the Dwang translation of Kiz Knights is done. It is just done. I don't really need to worry about it anymore, for now at least. So I'm like, okay, cool, it's done. I don't need to think about it too much. However, obviously, because it's me, I'm going to look and see if I can't start on another one, or at least kind of getting the preliminaries set up for it. Where was the one? This was one I was thinking about going over. And this was one called Livradol. As you can see, it is completely in fucking Japanese. So yes, I'm going to have to be desperately attempting to translate this entire fucking nightmare. It is 74 pages. However, it is almost complete text, and like, so I'm not like, it's going to be about, I would say it's going to probably be a bit longer than Kiz Knights, but also a little bit shorter because it's still able for me to do. In fact, all it's really going to be doing is this on it. Like, all I really need to do is just do this. Yeah, as you can kind of see, most likely what's going to happen is I'm going to have to start interpreting things a little bit more with this, because I have a strange and beautiful feeling they're going to be using their own various words for things, because God bless the Japanese and their fucking autism. Riverdor, I don't know why it's interpreting that as Riverdor. I think it's supposed to be Livra. That's the idea. Livra. So I'll see what I can do there. This was one option. Option 2 was, this is Muvlov. Those who don't know Muvlov is a, also thank you very much, Cold War 368. That sounds very ominous, but thank you for following. Muvlov is a visual novel. It's now an anime. It's kind of a multimedia franchise at this point. It's been kind of doing a bunch of things. And this is the official, not official, but official enough tabletop game for it. I consulted with some of the JRPG people, and nobody's really touched it. Apparently, it's not very good. However, I'm not really going to be doing it for anybody in particular. I'm doing it for my new sheep wife. Let me I'm doing it for Sheep Wife, otherwise known as Arrow Wolcott, which you should totally follow her as well. This is she really likes Muvlov, so I'm like, I should do this to impress my new fucking Oshi, because I am a horrible simp. I am a despicable simp. So yeah, that's kind of like option 2. Now if I do this, I gotta do this precisely. We also have, let me bring up, this is Harvest RPG. This is done by the same guy as Kiz Knights. Do I know what the fuck this is? Absolutely not. They have a trailer. They have 2 trailers. So 3 trailers, no less. So I've been, I think it has something to do with magic. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't. I'm getting a phone call now. I'm going to wrap it up there for everybody. I got to go. See you. Goodbye.